Nothing in life that's great comes easy. You cannot skip the part where you have to do the work.
How do you help people deal with themselves? They're not used to getting money at this level. Mentally, a lot of them internalize it like, yo, I just got approved for 4 credit cards. I got 400,000 in cash. I'm gonna go crazy.
My question is, what are you going to? Don't go and get a lot of money that you cannot pay back. Now you're gonna be back to me to repair your credit because you're gonna default on it.
Is trauma necessary to truly be successful?
If you don't go through certain things, how are you gonna know how to get through it? You have to go through it to get through it.
100%. Hard times make strong people make good times make weak people, and weak people make hard times. Hey guys, we realize a lot of you are coming to the page and enjoying the content, but we see a lot of you still aren't subscribed. And so if you could click that subscribe button, it'll help our channel grow and give you more episodes with a lot of amazing individuals. Welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And listen, today's guest is all the way from SC, but she now resides in Atlanta. We bring Jasmine to the podcast. Welcome, Jazz.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to be here.
And so, in a world of 2025 where everybody does a little bit of everything,
right?
What do you currently focus on right now?
So right now, I currently focus on, being a business consultant and credit coach.
Okay, business consultant and credit coach,
yes.
Right? So, in real time, we don't like to really do research on people because we want to have authentic conversations. Mm-hmm. And this is the best way for us to get to know who you are.
Right.
The same way. So, tell us a little bit of being born in South Carolina.
Right. Small town, dirt roads, McClellanville, South Carolina. Population of 600.
600?
Yeah. 626 to be exactly.
Wow.
Just verified about a week ago.
And so when I hear things like that, I think about like dust balls going by.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We don't even have a grocery store. Wow. We don't have a stoplight. Now we don't even have in high school. So the high school that I graduated from, it closed down a while ago. My graduating class was 20 people. So talk about odds being stacked.
Is it like a black town or
a mix?
Okay.
It's definitely a mix, but it's not. I would say in our community is underserved, but on the other side there are some pretty wealthy folks there. It's known for their seafood.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How far is that from Charleston?
About 45 minutes north.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad.
My goddaughter's in Charleston. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we have to drive to Charleston.
All I know, every time I go out there, no service.
No service.
It's the back roads.
It's the back roads. That's how it is. So that's where I grew up. So I graduated high school, spinning in circles. I was actually supposed to join the military after high school, but I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, who's now 14.
Wow.
So after that, no real direction, just spinning in circles. But my ultimate goal was to always join the military. Yeah. Small towns, you always say, or join the military and retire. No, that's facts. The way out. So that's what I did after, doing a lot of nothing over the course of the maybe like 4 or 5 years. I joined the military. They sent me to Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Ooh, that's another like in the cut kind of thing.
It is 27 hours away.
Sheesh.
No family.
Are you like really family oriented?
I am. We are super tight. I'm talking, we have the group text. We share locations.
Y'all do like functions yearly?
Yes, annually? All the time. Okay. I'm actually hosting Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
At my new home in Atlanta now.
Okay.
So I went to Colorado Springs. And now I have a little income coming in, right? It's stability. But I'm trying to apply for an apartment. And they're saying,
You gotta get your credit
You gotta get your credit right. But who knows about credit?
Facts.
I don't know crap about credit. All I know is they told me we can't approve you for this apartment. So now I'm starting to dive deeper into, hey, what is this credit and why is it stopping me from getting a place to stay? Is when I realized that, hey, you need to figure out what's going on. So I had a lot of negative things. I started, doing some research. So that's when I kind of, was introduced to what credit is.
Okay. So before we even take that route, I still want to stay a little bit further in the past where, what were your parents like and what was family like for you growing up in a small town, versus, you living in somewhere like Atlanta right now.
Right. Hey, y'all, it's Jasmine Mazyck, and I am here at Attractive Mindset Podcast. I want y'all to make sure that you follow me. I am here getting you real results. I want to help you change your credit, turn your credit into capital, and get those negative items removed from your credit report so you can live the life that you truly desire. Use code MINDSET to receive 10% off any product or service on my website at info.jmwealthinstitute.com. Again, that's info@jmwealthinstitute.com. See y'all soon. We didn't have much opportunities. The rooms that, now we could go in, we didn't have that there, which is why I believe I was spinning in the same circles, because the information that I needed, it wasn't there. It's very underserved.
What kind of jobs did your family work?
So my mom, she was a phlebotomist.
Okay.
For as long as I could remember. My dad, he's a truck driver. I don't really have a tight relationship with my dad. My stepdad, which is my sibling's father, he raised me.
Okay.
Until I graduated high school. I mean, he took me in as his, literally everything. My first car, literally everything I needed throughout my bringing up. We were a very close family growing up. My siblings were very close as well.
You only have one brother?
I have one brother, and I have 4 sisters.
Oh, wow. Okay. And where are you in that line?
I'm the oldest. A lot of pressure. So yeah, I'm the oldest. But yeah, we grew up very close. At one point in time, growing up, it was very hard. We didn't have running water at one point in time. Which is why I'm like, this ain't it, I have to really do something different, but I didn't know how. I didn't know who to go to get, the information that I needed.
No, that's, that puts things in perspective when you deal with things like this, natural situations where, it's not necessarily to a cause, because you were born into this lifestyle.
I was born into it.
It wasn't something that I'm going to live in a mansion and we're just going to go live in a small town. And
right.
So, how did you keep yourself occupied in a small town? Like, what did you guys do?
I used to get in a lot of trouble because it wasn't nothing to do. We were always just doing things that we weren't supposed to. Like, I remember being 16 and racing cars.
Wow.
But it was nothing for us to do, to keep us occupied. Like here, nowadays, you have like swim lessons, you have the basketballs, you have all of those different things, but we didn't have those things there. It was a very small area.
Wow. Okay. And so what kind of culture shock was it to you even going to Colorado? Is that the first time that you left there?
Yeah, immediate culture shock. I'm like, what's going on here? The people are different. Back from my time, we knew everybody. So if you needed, to find out at least something small, you'll be able to, hey, can you call X, Y, and Z? But you don't have that there. So I was lost, really lost. And what I did is, because I miss family so much, I brought my younger sister and she stayed with me. So it was my daughter and my younger sister. And that kind of, helped bridge that gap, because at least now I had someone that was connected to me outside of, my military family and my daughter.
And so now you having a daughter, you being young, having a daughter and being in a complete different space, what starts to go through your mind as far as like options opening up for your life?
I started building relationships with people. So, from a small town, you may have heard the saying, no new friends, right? But I'm like, that ain't what's going on, because you're going to be spending in the same circle. So I disconnected myself from people who I felt was draining my energy. And I started connecting with other like-minded individuals who were, just educating themselves on whatever it is. Because, in the military, you could take a lot of different classes to educate yourself, classes that we weren't offered in high school. So I started doing different things like that, and just really building up myself as a person, because I'm young. I don't really know much about life. At this point, I barely know how to be a mother. I had my daughter at 18, so I just started kind of like figuring my life out.
And so you having, I want to talk about mental health a little bit, and that, you having your daughter so young, did you get feelings like, my life is over, I can't do this and that? Did you feel tied down, or did you feel like, you had to alter the path of life that you might have chose if you didn't have a daughter that early?
I have mixed feelings. So at first I felt like, damn, I my life up because I was supposed to go in the military right after high school. I had already signed the paperwork and everything to ship out for basic.
Yeah.
And I found out I was pregnant.
Damn.
So it's like now I have to go back and figure things out. I thought the military was my way out. So, but then in a sense, I'm like, well, whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen, you know? So it's already happened. So now I just need to figure out how I'm going to provide for me and her.
And so how did her father feel about you leaving?
Her in the beginning, so we're all young, right? It wasn't a great relationship between her father, myself, and her. You know, so I'm the sole provider, mother and father. I'm still trying to learn. You know, I'm a baby myself. If you think about it, I had just graduated high school. So it was me.
And so, you know, with these moments of extreme adversity, because that's exactly what it is, you know, do you feel like you would be the same version of who you are if you didn't deal with some of these things?
Because I feel like going through trials and tribulations is what really builds you to be the person that you are. You need to go through certain things so you can learn lessons from them.
And so with you now doing the military route, did you go to college at all?
I did. College went for me. It's like I would start, stop. I feel like I didn't, and you know, at this point, I'm still young, still growing. I didn't have any real direction or any sense of, okay, I need to see things through to the end. So that's kind of what happened with me in college. So I don't have a college degree or anything.
Got you. What was your MOS?
92 Yankee Supply.
Okay, supply. Gotta love supply.
Yeah, you gotta love supply. Always be nice to the supply.
Facts. Always be nice to supply and Motor T and Chow Hall.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, and so now what made you not want to make the military a career?
I felt like, well, let me fast forward just a little bit. So I also was in the dump trucking industry, right? I started that before I got out of the military. I was making more money in the dump trucking industry by not even being present.
Then you was doing all of that.
You see what I'm saying? And you know, you were in the military, so you know this thing staff duty. We working 24 hours. So it's like, come
Weekends,
on.
everything.
Weekends, everything. So it's just like, I felt in a sense I was being held back from the things that I wanted to do because I'm seeing all of these things that I want to invest in to further elevate myself, but I didn't have the finances to do it. And I'm like, at this point, I don't have the time either. I'm giving the military 95% of my life. So that's kind of, you know, where the turning point was where, okay, I need to figure something else out.
Okay, so without your family directly really being like entrepreneurial based, where did you start to develop this mindset to even open a dump truck business?
So to be honest with you, my mom, she got married about like 7 years ago, right? And her husband and I, we grew a very good relationship, like father and daughter, like we knew each other forever. And he brought the dump trucks to me because he was driving dump trucks for a long time. I don't know if maybe he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, but he brought that up to me. And I'm like, dump trucks, come on now, give me something else. So I started looking into it because he just kept like, Jazz, I think you need to look into these dump trucks. You can make a lot of money for these dump trucks. I can literally tell you, because at that point, if you're driving dump trucks for 30 plus years, you know how to run a business. 100%. For real, you may not have the connections or the resources to actually do it, but you can tell me. So that's how I got into like being an entrepreneur, because I started doing the research on the dump trucks and I saw how much money it was bringing in, and I got into dump trucks.
Wow.
No mentor, nothing, literally just learning as I go.
So, you know, I actually have somebody that started telling me a little bit about the dump truck business, and one of the big negatives of it, because they told me the money's great, but they said the dump trucks go down all the time.
They do. So a regular semi is totally different from a dump truck, right? You could get a decent semi for like $25K. $25K in a dump truck is a piece of junk.
Damn.
So you have to really know what to look for when you're buying those trucks. But I was blessed. My stepdad, he found me one, right? We went up to North Carolina and he checked it out. No issues. I was good to go. You know, little small minor things, but nothing where I needed to, you know, lose money or anything. My issue was keeping a good driver. And I felt like it was part of like being a female and having a young female boss. And, you know, those dump truck drivers, you know, it's older guys that's driving a dump truck.
They
so
don't listen.
They don't know how to listen. They stuck in their own ways. So that was my issue, not so much of the truck.
So, you know, to give people a small inside look on how that is, you know, what kind of overhead did you start to deal with once you get into this business, and how fast were you able to make profit?
Getting into it, I would say the fuel cost was very high. The price for your drivers, like the average hourly fee is like $15 to $18. Like I stayed in the middle at 17, so that wasn't too bad. It didn't take me long to get jobs because one thing about it, I like to learn. I went into DOT. Hey, I'm a new dump truck company owner. I don't know anything, right? It doesn't cost anything to be nice to people.
Yeah.
You're nice to people, people are going to put you on game on what's going on. So my stepdad had told me about a DBE certification, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, whereas the state has to give you an allotted amount of work just for being a disadvantaged business enterprise company.
Is that part of government contracting?
I'm not too sure if it's in that lane because I didn't have to do like the SAMS registry and all of that. It's like state. So I went to DOT like, hey, I need to get this, you know, certification. I'm new to, you know, dump trucking industry. Long story short, I found a lady who's like, hey, I can help you fill out this application. I mean, application was like 50 pages. I didn't even have a truck when I got the application at that point. So I didn't really have an issue with finding jobs. To this day, I don't have my trucks on the road, but I keep all of my certifications. I still get job postings. They'll still send it to me.
And so you don't use the trucks at all? But so you're just holding on to them?
Yeah, you never know when you're going to circle back, you know?
I feel that. I feel that.
I didn't get out of it because it wasn't making me any money. I got out of it because I couldn't balance the Army and being a dump truck owner because my drivers were my issue.
Got it. Okay. And so now you dealing with the Army and dealing with the dump trucks. What was like the final piece to say, hey, I'm going to actually leave the Army now?
I started making a lot of money in real estate. I purchased my first property in 2018.
Okay.
I sold it in 2022 and I made almost $100,000.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on now. At that point, I wasn't even making $100K in the military and giving them 12 months, you know, in a year.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my turning point. I have to figure out a way to do something different.
And what made you choose real estate?
I got a mentor, right? One of my first mentors that I got, shout out to 10 Billions. He was someone that did 10 years in prison. He came home and he started teaching this thing that you can invest into real estate using no money and no credit. So I'm like, what this guy talking about? And I told him the story. So I followed him for a while. I'm like, this man, this ain't right, you know? Yeah. So he kept doing it. Like I just closed on another property. So I reached out to him. And at this point, I'm like, I want to invest into it, but I'm scared because I didn't know if it was real or not. So I'm like, hey, can I do a payment plan? Let me get a little information first to see. And he said, yeah. He was like, I never had no one to ask me that before, but yeah, I'm willing to do it. The first meeting I did with him, I didn't need to do another consultation after that. He gave me literally everything. I hit the ground running. And I started just doing wholesale deals after wholesale deals. And then I'm like, okay, I want to go a little deeper now. I want to see how it is to take one of these properties and fix it. And then turn around and sell it or rent it or whatever I want to do. So that's how I got into real estate.
Wow. No, that's huge. Okay, so Now that you see real money can be made,
Yeah.
you ready to get up out of there.
Yeah. I'm like, it's time to go, right?
Okay. So did you stay in Colorado?
No. I left Colorado in 2017.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to Atlanta from there?
Nope. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what made you choose there besides being closer to family?
Closer to family.
Oh, okay.
I swear I did a compassionate reassignment to be closer to family. That Colorado is hard. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm tough now, but it's like, damn, I need help. Mm-hmm. You know, even though I had my sister there going in the field, I didn't want to leave her, you know, at the house with my daughter. If something happens, I can't even get to them. Yeah. I probably didn't even have cell phone service.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was stationed in 29 Palms. You know what 29 Palms is?
No, where's that?
The worst military base out of every branch possible. Ugh. It's way north in California. The nearest like city is an hour and some change away, which is like Palm Springs. Right outside of it is a town. But yeah, they literally say they send, you know, people there to go die. Oh. It's the desert.
The things that you go through in the military, people underestimate. They're like, oh, well, you never deployed, but my life will never be the same.
Facts.
I'm a totally different person than who I was when I joined in 2015.
100%.
So the people, they take that lightly, and it's still only 1% of the world actually even makes it through and joins the military, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot you got to deal with, and, you know, I've been on deployments before, but, you know, even for those who haven't been on deployments, you can deal with a lot of things mentally because it's not normal.
It's not normal.
And I think people misconstrue what military normal is versus what regular normal is. Right. Because even when I got back, I had to go to the psych ward for like a month and a half. You know, like, yeah, I did some things, but, you know, it was a different type of assimilation back into society after. Right. Like, I got back and I just felt anxious because the world was moving so fast. And, you know, it wasn't like I didn't have a phone. I had phones, I had internet, right. I had all of that stuff. But once I got out, it was like I had missed an entire chapter of life. Right. And so catching back up to that, you feel behind. You see friends, family, everybody doing something different. Damn near forgot about you, right. Even because you know you're out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you go into Fort Jackson, I'm sure there's more military people around that town and everything. Right. Was that more of a comfort move? Like, I still want to be able to deal with what I know, but I also want to be closer to family?
It was. And you know why? Fort Jackson is so family oriented. They understand that, hey, you have a real life. You have children, you know, you have things that you really need to do. I remember it was certain points in Colorado where I was scared to say, hey, I need to go to the doctor. I have a doctor's appointment, or my daughter has a doctor's appointment. It's frowned upon. Really? You need to leave work to go take your daughter to, and you know, it comes from, you know, the higher ups who may have a stay-at-home wife. And you know, it's like, that's when I really started getting tough, like letting them know, like, hey, I don't have what you have at home. I am a single mother here. You have a stay-at-home wife. Yeah. I don't have that. So doing a transition to Fort Jackson, they understood that. Yeah. It's like, hey, take care of your family, you know, get the things done that you need to get done, you know, as long as you let us know. Mm-hmm. So Fort Jackson was a really good move, you know, on top of being closer to family. Now I'm only like 2.5 hours away from family.
Wow. No, that's major. Okay. And so now your daughter growing up with this kind of lifestyle, seeing you deal with the military and everything, you know, not really being subjected to the small town that you were, you know, what are you watching her grow up witnessing that you didn't have when you grew up?
So I have 3 children now.
Okay.
Fruitful. But yeah, I'm finished though. Now they don't have to witness less opportunities, right? They have a lot of opportunities. The schools that they're in is setting them up to be entrepreneurs. I've never seen anything like it. The opportunities that they offer, the classes that they offer.
Is it private?
It's not a private school, but it's one of the best schools in the district. And they offer things to set kids up to be entrepreneurs.
And this is Atlanta?
This is in Atlanta, on the outer skirts, of course.
Got it.
But yeah, and that was something that she's like, dang, I could do a graphics design class. They have so many different things for the kids to do there. And it's like, I'm not setting them up to be a worker.
Absolutely. And this is, the oldest is 14.
The oldest is 14, so she's in high school. She's just going to high school.
Wow. And so would you want her to follow the same path as you as far as like credit, consulting vibe, maybe a little bit of real estate, or you want all of them to kind of just do their own thing?
I want them to do their own thing, but not work for someone else. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have you tied down to a job for 60 years and then retire and you already halfway, through your life. I want them to experience, real freedom. Because they literally grew up with it. Of course, my oldest, she grew with me, right? So she did go through a lot of trials and tribulations, with me until she was about 6. But it's like now my kids live a soft life. I don't give them everything that they want. I teach them the value of things, but they don't have a life of trauma or, things that they have to figure out. I'm there for them. I've went through a lot already. So a lot of things that I learned, I'm able to share that, with them.
And so, I'm going to say a statement that's very controversial. And I say this a lot because it brings a perspective from both sides where is trauma necessary to truly be successful?
No, not really. But I feel like if you don't go through certain things, how are you going to know how to get through it? You have to go through it to get through it,
100%. And so there's a quote that was made from that, which is hard times make weak people. Or no, hard times make strong people make good times make weak people, and weak people make hard times. And it's a repeating cycle because, when you create an environment that is almost too rich, almost too providing,
right,
almost too soft, they don't learn how to deal with adversity properly. And it just repeats itself later on. It might not be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years because you're still in the picture. But,
right.
We're not forever. And so when we're not in the picture, that's when it starts to recircle again. And then, just like I was talking with Kadeem earlier, there's so many stories that we don't even know. He was telling me that his grandmother was 101. And, mine also lived to 104. But she went back to St. Thomas and, I know nothing about how she really grew up or whatever. But apparently over there, they own houses and real estate and all of that stuff. Wow. And I'm just finding that out within the last year. And so it's like, these stories that we don't hear from the older people in our family and our bloodline and all of these things. We don't know who's the entrepreneur. We don't know who did what, who owns what, who has what. And as time goes by, because of how the system of the world is set up, we might lose some of this stuff to just not knowing better.
And I'm glad that you brought that up because my great-grandma, she's still alive and well.
Wow.
She's still walking and everything. She actually just turned 93, right?
Amazing.
She's still in her right mind. And it makes me want to go back and start asking her a lot of questions about, the things that she went through in life and, how did she get through it? That really made me think when you said that. It's like, we still have all of these generations here. Let me go ahead and get that information.
No, 100%. And so, even from that perspective now, do you feel like you would create something to leave clues behind to not only help your kids, but maybe their kids?
Oh, yeah. My ultimate goal is to have my own family bank. So when my kids get older, it's not going to be like, oh, I can go to the bank and I can get X, Y, and Z. It's going to be structured where if you want to go and borrow something from this bank, you have to borrow it under these guidelines. And you also have to repay it under these guidelines. But the reason why I'm going to have it like that is because I don't want the money to ever run out. So it's going to be set in stone. And I actually have that in my trust. I'm still currently building it. But that is my ultimate goal when I leave here, to leave that behind for them.
Amazing. You're saying all the right words right now. Trusts and leaving things behind, family bank, because that's what it comes down to. And, even teaching them about like pulling out things from life insurance and,
Right.
utilizing a lot of these things going on within their life, which are legal loopholes.
Right.
And people will be surprised how many legal loopholes there are,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll still have the same statistics. And everybody, y'all know me, I'm a stats guy. So you can go check this, SBA.gov. As of 2024, the average Black American makes about $44,500 a year. And so, when it comes to the entrepreneurship category, and we run into certain people and we tell them about credit or owning a building or, owning anything, honestly. And we'll say, oh, yeah, you could do 50K a month, 100K a month, 150K a month. They're like, what is this person, this human being talking about? Or they feel like it's a scam.
Because they don't see it. If they look to their left and right, they don't see that stuff, which is why you have to disconnect from the things that don't serve you.
100%.
And get in the room with people who are making 50K a month, 100K a month. So now you're seeing it, so you know it's possible.
100%. And I feel like, again, Kadeem, the conversation I had with Kadeem was
quick.
short but influential, because it brings up a question of, when does their story become history, which is our story now.
Right.
When do we take over? Because if you think about how stories were told, how stories were portrayed, you know who Harriet Tubman is. You know who Rosa Parks is.
Right.
You know Martin Luther King. You know Malcolm X. Fill in the blank. But can you name 5 people that did the same thing they were doing right now? Me either. You know what crazy. I'm saying? And that's a problem, because those people exist.
Right.
I recently started doing better due diligence to go find out, who are our industry shifters and our life shifters for our community now. And I'm like, man, back then, these names were in our face all the time. You knew the Black Panthers, you knew Tulsa, Oklahoma stuff, you knew Black Wall Street, you knew these things. But now we're so disconnected with each other because we don't talk to each other.
Right. And
that we just don't know what's going on.
I have to do a better job with, finding out, like you say, who the industry leaders are, so I can know these people to see, what type of impact that they're bringing to our community.
100%. So now I want to get into, what you focus on currently, which is business consulting and credit. Which one came first?
The credit. Okay. Of course, the credit. I had to master it before I can teach it. I don't teach anything that I haven't mastered. So when I give my mentees stuff, I know it works. If they tell me it does it, I know that they didn't do exactly what I said. I teach from real experience. It's not, this is a guessing game.
No, that's pure. Okay, so walk us through you entering into the world of credit and what life was like when you didn't have access to it. Because you mentioned, like, you went to go get a place and all this stuff, and they were like, you might make some money to do whatever you need to do, but your credit don't look right.
Yeah. It was like denial after denial. Like, damn, cut me a break, So, like I said, with the apartment and everything, even after that, I started like getting things removed off of my report, but I didn't know, okay, once you get things removed, you have to rebuild it. Because now you don't have anything on there. The banks don't know how to trust you. You need something. So I started, adding things on my credit report. And then I started getting approved for little things. It wasn't nothing big, like maybe a $3K card here or a $1,500 card here. But then I'm like, dang, they gave me $3K. Okay, I know they could give me some more. Let me see what I need to do. So I started like self-educating myself. But credit is very complex, right? Yeah. So I started taking classes. A lot of the classes that I was taking was like going over my head, because I'm like, hold on, that's a lot right there.
It's like YouTube University classes?
Yeah, no, I was actually paying for classes, but I didn't understand it, right? And, still growing up and learning, I was scared of asking a dumb question, in classes and everything. So that's why I started doing like the one-on-one mentorship, so I could really get the things that I needed. But I just kind of self-educated myself. I fixed it. I rebuilt it after I moved the negative items from it. And then I started, getting myself funded. Like I said, the credit cards, the personal loans. I also, got myself approved for my first property, the one I told you I sold. All the hard money loans and everything. So I really just like started going through and mastering the skill of credit and using it as capital.
Wow. That's, it's always an interesting perspective when it comes to a conversation of credit with me, at least, because y'all already know the story. I'm not going to go fully over it, but to just give you insight, I got into it with the bank system. Dan laughing. I got into it with the bank system. This is me after the military. 70,000, 80,000 here, whatever. Got put in cuffs, went to court, got a seal, which exists and doesn't exist at the same time. Had no access to any credit. But I wanted to be a business owner.
Right.
And so how do you be a business owner, especially in production, buying red cameras,
out of pocket,
buying Black Magics, buying Sony, everything, lighting, all of that stuff with no money,
right.
And so I had to learn how to make capital or create capital. And so that was my standpoint, is the willpower to create money out of not thin air, but the situational awareness to be able to create money and use that in the place of having zero credit.
Right.
My credit was so bad that some people didn't even want to let me open my own secured credit card. It was like, it was bad. But I still learned about credit over the years. And my biggest credit card ended up being one where once I learned how to create money, I gave them the capital. And so I did have a credit card, but it was mine, and I put a $10K limit on it, and I'm like, okay, cool. There's this. And so the beginning of this year, my credit opened back up. Finally, this is 7, almost 8 years later.
That's a long time.
And I immediately shot up to almost 750 from like 400s. And mind you, there's no bankruptcies on my credit report. There's nothing on there anymore. It was just a blank canvas. And so, what would you say to somebody? I said that all to say, what would you say to somebody that gets into credit? Because I even dealt with it a little bit, because it came at the right time for me, because we just got this place and I had to put maybe like 85,000 into this building. And so I'm like, oh, hold on. Like,
right.
I'm Mr. Cash Flow, but
that's
my
a lot
cash
of
low.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. So, you start to think and you start to get caught up in the process, because again, I'm human. And so me being presented with a lot of these credit opportunities now, 0% interest for 50K, 100K, because we're showing them what they want to see on the back end. The company's making money. And so they're like, oh, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Capital on tap, you got me. You fucking got me. And I'll never forgive you for that, because I was hyped. Y'all are, Capital on tap?
I have Capital on tap.
Scum. Actual scum. Because I didn't read. And so this is why you got to read the fine print. I was so excited. I never had really credit from anybody else.
Right. And they'll give you a bag too.
They gave me a bag up front. And it said 0% APR in big bold letters. But then 2 sentences underneath that in small fine print, it says, yeah, that goes up to 47% in like 2 weeks, or like in like 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so here's me. I'm like, oh, 0% APR. And I'm used to, like, I already started a podcast. We got over 200 episodes, whatever. I understand credit to a good point now. I'm like, cool, 0% APR. We'll do this. I'll start credit stacking and doing this, whatever. And they just happen to be number one.
Yeah, Capital.
They were the wrong number one. And I ran it up. And then when I went to go see the next month bill, I ran up, 20,000? I ran up 20,000, and I went to go see the next month bill, and they basically hit me with the, like, I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, huh? I said, what? And not only did they do that, they gaslit me. because I called them. I said, hey, hold on. There's got to be a mistake here. Like, my credit is actually good. My business cash flow is actually good. Why am I at 47%? That's damn near 50% APR.
That's terrible.
That is rough.
That's terrible.
And she had the nerve, British lady, y'all gonna make me prejudiced, man. British lady, she was like, well, sir, you have to. Why'd you apply for it then if you didn't read?
Oh,
and I was like, you gonna get sassy with me,
Yeah, they train her well.
I was like, wow. I was like, but I don't have nothing bad in my stuff. Like, this is going on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she was not apologetic at all. And the moment I said, I don't know how I'm going to make this extra payment.
Right.
Because, I got cash flow coming in, but people got to understand, like, I pay staff, pay for the building, I'm paying this, that, whatever. Like, paying a big chunk of that you don't normally expect.
Right.
Will throw anybody off. And so I'm like, I may, whatever, we have to talk about it. They immediately cut my card off.
Ooh, they turned it off. Oh, that's
so
terrible.
I couldn't even use it anymore, even though I could. Same day. And so I was like, not only did y'all screw me over, you kicked me while I was down.
Down, right. Kick me while I'm down.
By the next month, paid the whole 20 off. And they were like, wait, whoa, sir. I was like, where that British accent at?
Right,
I said, hold
right.
on. And I'm not going to do it. Every time I get a chance, I'm going to talk shit about y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I have to. And so, predatory, I want you to go over that category because this is real. And I've done business. We've made millions on paper over the years. People can go see it. But I fell for that. I want you to go over predatory APR rates, and life isn't so sweet when you come into the credit game.
No, it really isn't. And that's why we have the Truth in Lending Act, right? Because that's what protects us when we go to sign for these credit cards, these home loans, auto loans, like those things, like what they did to you, that print was supposed to be clear and concise, right? But they hide these things, like you say, in small print because they know that we're not going to read it. And that happens all the time. And that's why we have to read these things before we sign. Like, I know sometimes we get super excited when they're going to give us the money, but you have to take the time and read. Like, don't be so quick to rush because these people will have you paying for a car X amount of times if you're not reading, what you need to read before you sign the paperwork.
Absolutely.
So I will also say they need to familiarize themselves with the Truth in Lending Act because it states all of the things that these companies are supposed to provide to us before we sign for anything.
And so now, on the other side of that, how do you help people deal with themselves? Because, again, they're not used to getting money at this level. And mentally, a lot of them internalize it. Like, yo, I just got approved for 4 credit cards. I got $400,000 in cash, mixed personal and business, whatever. I'm going to go crazy.
My question is, what are you going to invest it in? Because don't go and get a lot of money that you cannot pay back. Now you're going to be back to me to repair your credit because you're going to default on it. I always tell them, make sure you have a plan before you get the money, a plan to invest the money so it'll come back so you can pay it off.
Absolutely. And so you do the credit repair and the funding?
I do credit repair and I have an in-house team for the funding.
Okay.
But my company is strictly personal credit where I show them A through Z, how to repair it, or I have the hands-on service where we do it for them.
Got it. Okay. No, that's, every time that I have a conversation with somebody that's in credit repair, I learn so many different things. And, still till today, my most influential learning thing, because I'm in the process right now. I'm in 2 lawsuits where we're suing them.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're winning under the FDCPA.
For sure.
And, I didn't think this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah.
That's a legal thing. And you don't even have to be a lawyer to do it. And so, we went against Discover, won. They not only did we win, but they gave us money back.
Oh, yeah, they're going to give you money back for every law they violate.
They gave us money back. We won, and they opened the relationship back up.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, how is this legal?
But you know why? they want to settle with you because they don't want that information public. Because just think about it, if 10 other people find out what you found out, now everybody's going to be going to them trying to get paid. Facts. Because they violated the law.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. And so out of all the things that you've dealt with credit repair, what do you feel like is the most missed fact that people skip over the most?
Just their personal profile. Like, that is so important. You can literally be denied for something because you have 3 names on your credit report.
Wow.
Like, I always tell them, my name is Jasmine Mazyck, right? But if I have Jasmine N is my middle initial, Mazyck, the company is going to think it's 2 different people trying to pull a fast one on us. So I always tell them, like, you need to clear up that personal profile before you even start the dispute. It eliminates, any type of difficulties during your dispute process. So you need 1 name. You need 1 birth date, because I've seen profiles that have multiple birth dates. Like, how you were born on all these different days. Multiple social security numbers, multiple addresses. Like, that stuff has to be clear. Like, that's the basics.
Wow.
Clear that up. So that's 1 name, 1 social security number, 1 date of birth, and 1 address. That's it.
And how long does it usually take to do something like that?
You can literally call on the phone and get that done within 24 hours.
At all of them?
All of them. TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. That's your personal information. You can't have something, and there's a law for that, 15 USC 1681. You can't have something on there that I did not provide in written instructions to you. So I didn't tell you that X, Y, and Z is my name. I also didn't tell you that those are my addresses. So I'm telling you the correct one, so I want you to remove the ones that I'm saying are incorrect.
So after you start to learn a lot of these things, these inside things, you're paying for mentorship. What made you want to take the step to be like, I want to make this my own company?
I want to show people that they can do this. They don't have to commit to renting all their lives or being broke, because once you fix your credit, you get access to capital. You could use other people's money to grow and scale yourself, your business. So I just wanted to show people that it's definitely possible for them.
Okay. And at what point did you now get to the point where you're like, I'm going to consult you through this process?
I started that maybe about a year ago, right?
Okay.
Because you see a lot of credit repair specialists who don't know. You can't be out here running a credit repair company and you don't have a license.
Yeah.
You have to be licensed by the state that you're in. You also need to have good credit before you can say you're out here repairing someone else's.
Facts.
And then you also need to know how to structure your business so you're not sitting there doing disputes all day. We put a team in place. So I felt like I needed to show people how to structure that so they can turn that business into a machine.
Okay. So now let's get into scaling. At what point in your business did you say, okay, this is bigger than just me? I need to hire a team. And what does your team look like?
It was like a year ago, right? But I didn't know how. I was in the office like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning doing disputes. I had so many clients where I couldn't even take anymore.
Wow.
So, like I say, you have to invest into yourself to get the blueprint. So I invested into myself. The first person I hired was an executive assistant. So I brain dump everything that I do in my business to my executive assistant. And he does literally everything in my business. He oversees everyone else that's under there. So I have my client success person. I have my dispute processors. I have 1, 2, 3, maybe about 7 people that's under me. I have my CPA. Make sure you pay your taxes.
Facts.
You have to, content is coin. So I have my videographer. I have my graphics designer. And then I also, nope, that's it.
Okay. And so now walk us through the process of you conceptualizing what you need for your company, and how do you train them to be the best for what you're trying to provide and put out there?
So that's where the military came in. SOPs.
Yep.
So I created very detailed SOPs for everyone. So every little thing that they do is in the SOP. Everything. You have to be a great teacher, because if you don't, then your business is going to fail, because these people are going to do what you tell them to do. Nothing more, nothing less.
Facts.
So you have to make sure that you train them the correct way.
No, 100%. And how frequent would you say you have meetings with them? And from those meetings, how do you correct things that may have gone wrong?
So every day I get an end of day summary from my team. We do weekly meetings every Monday. My executive assistant is on point. So if we have anything that's wrong or going wrong in the business, which thank God, nothing recently, I'll let him know. And he trickles it down to the team. Like he is literally right next to me doing all of that stuff where I don't have to have direct contact with the other people that's under me.
Wow.
Yeah, he's good.
And so with a model like this, what does scaling look like for you?
More marketing.
Okay.
So I can bring on more people because my company can handle a large workload. I constantly have people being trained to do different things in the business because I want to have them elevating. So when I elevate, I'm having my team to elevate behind me.
Okay. And, with you doing this, do you want to keep the company? Do you want to sell it? Like, do you have an exit strategy?
I feel like I want to sell a company.
Okay.
That's later on down the road because I don't want to stay in credit repair.
Okay.
I want to solely teach it. So it wouldn't necessarily be selling the entire company, but my clientele for credit.
Got it. Okay. And, with you teaching it and you going from that kind of perspective, what are some of the other things that you want to get into, or do you want to just do that forever?
I feel like I want to teach people because this is everyday life. Things happen all the time. You don't know what may happen a year down the road, right? Yeah. I don't want you to come back to me or lean on me. I want you to know exactly how to correct something if it happens to your credit report. The foundation and the basics of credit, it doesn't change. How to remove those federal laws were there before you and I were even born. So it's like I want to teach them that so they can always know how to correct something.
Absolutely. Okay. And so, we reached a part of the pod where I call it like quick gem drop. If they made it this far, you got to give them something for free.
Right.
And so if somebody were to start credit repair with you or even a consultation with you, we'll do both sides. If they wanted to start credit repair, if they wanted to start consultations, what is the most important 5 first steps that you can give to get somebody rolling on repairing their credit themselves?
They need to first print off their credit report, right? They can go on annualcreditreport.com. They could get one for free. Also, all of the bureaus are obligated to give them one free credit report as well. They need to also separate or categorize all of their items so they can know exactly how to dispute each item. So they'll know, okay, hey, I have charge-offs here, I have collections here, I have hard inquiries there. And then I would also tell them to familiarize themselves with the FCRA. So they'll know the different things and the laws that they can use to remove those negative items from their credit report. Start disputing.
There y'all have it. Start disputing. And then on like a last note, because video, photography, videography, production in general is something that's forever. And so if you had to leave a message to your daughters, you have all daughters.
No, 2 daughters, 1 son.
Two daughters, 1 son. If you had to leave a message to your 2 daughters, 1 son, what would you want to tell them? And you can say it to that camera right there.
Stay resilient. Nothing in life that's great comes easy. You cannot skip the part where you have to do the work. It's the process. You have to go through it to get through it.
Absolutely. And what's their names?
Desire, Skylar, and Timarian.
Desire, Skylar, Tamari. She not playing with y'all.
I'm not playing.
You better be resilient. And so, I like to do that because when you put things on the internet, they're forever.
Forever.
This podcast be on YouTube until, maybe another thing like YouTube comes out, but this video can still be put there as well. And, just looking back, it's something to have. It's something to remember you by, especially in a prime format.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like your mom out here doing it.
Grinding.
You know what I mean? And it may be a different perspective sometimes from them because this Gen Z, Gen X, what I don't even know which one they are right now.
Yeah.
Gen X? They Gen X?
If you get attacked in the street and you don't want to use your weapon, you actually want to use non-violent or kind of non-violent ways of being able to control your opponent and make them submit until the police come see us at A&M Jiu-Jitsu. We got everything from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, strength and conditioning, kickboxing, MMA, wrestling. Come see us. BJJFL.com.
Gen X? They not Gen X? Gen Z? No, we're millennials.
Oh, yeah, we're millennials.
Whatever y'all are, they are in a complete different age, just like how the boomers were, and they're trying to teach us stuff, and we're like, yeah, we're not really doing that.
Right.
They have their own thing going on. Money's being made online at a ridiculous rate. They're gaming, streaming, doing all this at a ridiculous rate. The gaming industry makes more money than the movie and music industry combined. Combined. Do you know how much money that is?
I'm telling you.
And you have people like Kai Cenat coming up. You have these streamers doing their thing. You have lives going crazy, and y'all are gonna make money in a complete different way when y'all are in your prime. You're 30 years old. Imagine your daughter, 30 years old, graphic design company, but it's way different than the version of graphic design that we got.
Right.
And looking back at this episode, it's going to be like.
And she has it in her already. She's already started. She's being paid from Twitch already.
Wow.
So it's like, what?
Paid from Twitch already?
She came to me and she's like, Mom, I need you to type in my bank account information. And I'm like, what? Because, they go on Amazon and all these different sites. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I need to fill this out so I could get paid.
Wow.
So, yeah, she's already being paid.
Wow. 14. Wow.
Literally, I see the direct deposits coming through.
Wow. And that make me feel a little old, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I talked to my little sister the other day, and she's 17 right now. And she's like, yeah, I'm on my 4th job already. I said, job.
Wow.
Job. And she lives close to Atlanta too. And so I'm like, job.
Yeah.
Like, y'all were just 8 years old. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm like, I was so proud,
Man. Okay.
But it's like they're paying attention to what's going on, right?
Shout outs to them. And so, on an ending note, do you have anything that you're promoting right now as like a service or product or anything?
Of course, my credit repair program. My credit repair program, we get real results. You come through, it's all hands off. We do everything for you. All of my clients have results within 30 to 60 days. As long as you send over your documents, you can visit my website at info.jmwealthinstitute.com. That's info.jmwealthinstitute.com. I also have my 4-month mentorship where I give you everything A through Z, how to start, build, and scale your credit repair company. We also touch on marketing and your personal brand.
There we go. Listen, she just articulated that for y'all. And, do you do any events? Do you do like meetups? Do you do coaching?
So right now I am in the process of planning. I have a Dinners and Dollars event that I do annually. We're still in the process of that, so I don't have all the specifics yet.
And that's going to be just local to Atlanta, or you're going to?
So this one is going to be in Miami.
Oh.
So the first one I had was in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
I brought over 100 women together in a room.
Wow.
We were learning, networking, and growing. Like, it was so amazing. So I'm still putting all of that together. But if you follow me on social media, Jasmine Mazyck, across all platforms, on Instagram _Jasmine Mazyck, you will have the first scoop on when we release the dates for that. But that's pretty much it right now. I'm just wanting to bring awareness to who I am and what I do for the people and how I can show you how to turn your credit into capital.
There it is. Literally tied with a bow. Listen, if y'all like this episode, make sure you share it with a friend. She dropped extreme knowledge, but it's also always, 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 always good to learn who you're doing business with. And that's why we have these kind of conversations. Because, we can talk money all day to you. We can tell you how much you can make if you do this and get the funding and do whatever X, Y, Z. But do we really have your best interest in mind?
That part. And
y'all know in real time, because there's been some frauds on this show, and they get called out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel bad about it. And so, you guys get to see who people really are
Right.
in real time. And it's not me being extra. It's not me being picky. They literally say things themselves where myself and the audience is like, that's not that right. You know, that don't sound good, bro.
That's why I don't teach nothing I have not mastered. Because I'm not going to be up here trying to teach someone something that I don't know what I'm doing. That's crazy.
100%. And there you have it. So again, this is your host, Moneybag Rich. And at the end of the day, we always say we look good, we live good. Life is good. Talk to us, we talk back, and we out.